Oh, सर्वेभ्यः सुस्वागतम्। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्य किल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। वासुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। हरिः ओम्। So last week we saw two things. We saw two shlokas and we discussed a simple concept of, we extended the concept of Shraddha. And while we were discussing, we said, Shraddha and the aim of that Shraddha should be leading to a Samadhana in whatever activities we do. And we discussed it from a Vyavaharika perspective, from a transactional Vyavaharika perspective, and transcending the Vyavaharika and said, what is it in the long run? Or in the, as we saw, it is Shreyas and Preyas, or it was, as Shankaracharya mentioned it in a different way, it was all about uh, uh, Sthiti Karanam, Pravritti Lakshanam, Nivritti Lakshanancha. So that is what we saw in the last class. So we said Pravritti Lakshana and Nivritti Lakshana. And what are the concept of this Samadhana? And we saw that, this one of Samadhana is to get that Apuryamanam Achalam Pratishtam Samudram Apnoti Yatha.
Shanti.
1 minute. Give me a minute. Yeah. Okay. Correct. So we saw this. Okay. Yeah. So we saw this 15. So this is what we will see today. So we saw this Samadhana. And Apuryamana Machalam Pratishtam Samudramapah Pravishanti Yadvata Tadvat Kama Yam Pravishanti Sarve Sa Shanti Mapnoti Na Kama Kami. So if you can indulge in a way that you are still full, empty vessels make much noise, or full, what is full, and live in that Sampurna, Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. So that is full. Whatever is taken out of it is also full. So it is like you take out, tons and tons and tons of water from the ocean and it will still be full. Please give me a minute. Sorry about that. Yeah. So Apuryamanam achalam pratishtam samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tat kamayam pravishanti sarve sa shanti maapnoti na kama kami. So that is the kind of samadhana that all our activities, all our ideas, all our thoughts should lead us to. That is the idea. That is the basic idea that we get to. Okay. So from where does all this come from? So that is the question that we will ask. And why are we leading towards this samadhana? And why is it that, pravritti lakshana should lead to a nivritti lakshana? We can always stay in pravritti lakshana. No? If we are happy, if you are getting some good material thing, why can't we stay in the material world? That's another state. That's another state. Why can't we stop there? That's the question that we all have in mind. So that is part of our discussion today. And for that, we will see the next two shlokas of Bhaja Govindam, which Acharya brings out very beautifully. That and why certain things are a challenging stuff. So he says, Angam galitam paritam mundam dashavihinam jatam tundam vruddho yati grihitva dandam tadapina munchati asha pindam. So I'll just do the padacheta. Angam galitam palitam mundam. It's a very straightforward this one. Dashavihinam jatam tundam vruddha yati grihitva dandam tat apina munchati asha pindam. So it's a very straightforward this one. Angam galitam. What is Angam galitam? Our body. Body is bound to decay. We all age, no? No matter how much of anti-aging this one you apply, no matter how much of anti-aging stuff you take on, it's at the end of the day, it is going to age. It'll at best, give you a satisfaction for a while that you're not aging. But aging is a natural process. And the body will decay over time. That is also a given. Mundam palitam. Okay. So this
Gray hair.
Your hair will fall, hair will gray out, everything will happen with the head. Correct. Then tundam dashavihinam jatam. Tundam is basically referring to the teeth. At some point it will all decay, no? Teeth will
all of it.
It is not like it is ever going to be there forever. It is going to be there forever. Of course, our objective in life is to stay fit till the last day and then die at that point. Agree? But then the natural process of the body is to decay. How fit you keep it is up to you. Okay. And as one ages, you move around holding a stick. Dandam grihitva yati. We see that it's a very common cycle in life. It is not like it is anything exaggerated or it is not to happen or it should not happen. No such judgment calls. But this is a very natural state of our lives. Do we all agree?
Yeah.
Correct. So, but Acharya is saying, in spite of all this, we observe this as a very natural process. But, that state of desire, the constant state of desire in the end does not stop. Correct. So, what is the kalasya vayodharma? As time progresses, sharirasya pratyagam shithilam bhavati. It goes on decaying. Shiraha, jarasa, shuklatam, gatam. That is basically your hair. First it whitens out, grays out, then it, falls off. All these things are very natural. Mukham dantarahitam jatam. It becomes, we lose our teeth. Or it at least over time it loses its strength. You can't chew as much as you used to chew at, in say 15, 18, 20 years of age, right? Parasahayam vina gantum na shakyate. Gantum ashakyate or na shakyate. That is basically, dandam is only this one. It can be a physical, it can be a stake, or it can be somebody's help also. So many people, that's why the whole nursing, this one is going very well off. No, we need nurses everywhere. You need to hire nurses. You need to take care of anything and everything. So much of it is going on. Okay. Now, this is a very interesting the concept. The interesting thing is, in spite of all that, our desire to, give up. Okay, I have led this much of a life. It's a beautiful life. Maybe I need not have more desires beyond this. It's not something that is going away anywhere. Okay, there can be other desires. There can be multiple desires. Maybe next time when I come back, maybe I will do this. Or maybe I should have had this. Either there's a regret of the past or there's a desire of the future. These are two things that the mind always indulges in. This could have been done differently. I could have done this better, worse, whatever you want to qualify it as. So that's a desire. The second thing is, oh, this did not happen. I could not complete this. Maybe I should do it the next time. Maybe I can do it in the coming days. Maybe I can commit somewhere else. Okay. That is the most fascinating thing about life. It will never dissolve out. Do we agree?
Not like that, Mahodaya.
Huh?
Not like that. Not everybody.
Okay. So please enlighten on how it happens.
So, certain age, so you don't have energy to enjoy also. So that desire will not. When I was 25 years, 30 years today, if you ask me the same means, we will say enough.
Correct.
Enough.
Agreed. You have said enough to that what was there in 25 years. But have new things, has it completely dissolved out or have new things replaced it?
New thing replace. What type of new thing you are saying? I
That
don't
is
know.
for you to think. I'll give a simple example. As children, we all wanted a cycle. I'm just giving an example. Let's say we wanted a cycle. That cycle is gone at the age of 15 or 18 or whatever. You say, maybe I should graduate now. Cycle will not do. I need something else. Then you say, okay, that is enough. Maybe it's a new car. Okay. Then you'll say, I want to travel. Maybe I should travel more. All this happens. Yes, by the age of 50, 55, 60, something changes. You say, okay, these things are not needed. Maybe I should approach some other things. It could be well-being of children. It could be well-being of grandchildren, so on and so forth. See, what I'm saying is that whole thing can change. I'm not saying it is, for some people, it will go away. It is not like for you, maybe it is gone. Maybe it's totally off. But there are things that will keep changing. If you don't replace it with the right way of doing it, then it will keep on going. Now, the replacement can happen in two ways. There is what is called a udasina bhava. Oh, I want to give up in life because I can't achieve anymore. That is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is, yes, I can take everything. Still, I'll take my hands off. Maybe this is enough. Right. Now, if it's in a udasina bhava, that is because you don't have it's the ability that is suppressed. It is not your desire which is suppressed, but it's your ability, and because of which it's a compromise there. Now, there's a difference between.
Mahodaya, see, whatever, see, not possible in that way, I'm not saying. In this life, what we are going to whom we have to show and what we are going to achieve, in that way, I'm thinking.
That's exactly what I'm saying. See, it's basically, you can want infinite things, right? But at that infinite thing, you can either say, okay, I may want infinite thing, but that's all right. You have the ability also to conquer all that. But you say, okay, enough. Maybe I don't want to go there. The other way is you lack the ability. If you lack the ability and then say no, that's a compromise. That is not giving up.
Achha.
But right. You can give up something only when you have the ability to give up. Ability to get it. And then you say it is not mine.
But usually outgrowing is also possible, right? Outgrowing a certain thing.
Yes, exactly.
So and then you won't desire, the desire won't be there.
Correct. So that's the point. You need to outgrow things rather than compromise on things. See, I can say I want to stay in the palace, Mysore Palace. That's a desire per se, right? Now that's not a possibility. So you compromise on it. But outgrowing it is a different thing than compromising.
Outgrowing happens, I think, after you have enjoyed it.
Exactly. Now that outgrowing, two things can happen in outgrowing. You dissolve it and say, I'll not replace it with any other desire. Or you outgrow in a way that I replace that with another desire, which is bigger or whatever, lesser, whatever is that. So there is a replacement therapy. Now, instead of replacement, what Acharya is saying is probably reflect, dissolve it out and say thank you. He's never saying don't enjoy, don't take it up. Within your means, whatever you can do, please take it up. But then beyond that, say, okay, maybe you try to dissolve it slowly. So as Arjuna says, it is not possible. Mayana Drishtam. I have not seen the mind being calm. Sorry. What you are saying is all very good theory. Krishna says, yes, absolutely. Asamshayam Mahabaho. Vayor iva nigraha. So it's like, trying to catch air in your hands. I catch air. Okay, I've caught air. Have you caught air? Have we caught air? Right. So mind is like that. Chanchalamya Manak Krishna. Right. So that is the way it is. Now, but Krishna then qualifies that saying, Shanai Shanairu permit. Slowly, if you try to grasp it, slowly, if you bring it down, say, okay, can you outgrow things, whether fulfilled or unfulfilled? So that outgrowing is a different concept than replacing. Okay. So that is what we need to do. That is one aspect. Now, Acharya very clearly brings out a couple of things. Tadapina munchati asha pindam. Asha, the expectation. Now here, look at asha not just as desire, but as expectation also. Okay. I agree you can somewhere control your desire, your willingness to desire. But can you change your expectation of a particular way that you have run in the house, for instance? Let us say the house is run in a particular way. Suddenly, certain things change. Is that an expectation that you have built up? Now, suddenly one day you need to change it. How easy or difficult is that? Okay. As we age, it is not desire, but it is the expectation. That's why he is very carefully using the word asha. As you age, expectation of what are preconceived biases over, say, 30, 40, 50 years that we built. And we have successfully built it, successfully done in all our fields. If that needs to change, that requires us to give up few things.
So even expectation is said to be a form of a desire, which you have to outgrow.
Manifesting as a desire. Right? Because somebody else is in control at some point. Beyond a point, somebody else will come take over. It's Vayodharma. At that point, it has to happen my way or highway. How many places are going on like that? Right. Now here, please note, it is not a question of dharma that is coming here. Acharya is just saying, there is a way to do it, there is a way not to do it. Now, what you want to give up, what you don't want to give up is a pure choice that needs to be done. But if you prepare for it, then it's a way that if you have done all the things right, that's where karma leads to chitta shuddhi. If that chitta shuddhi is happening, then if n things have happened right, the n plus one thing that will happen will also be conducive for you to give up that asha. So that is where pravritti lakshana should always be in the realm of dharma. Dharma, artha, kama. The order is very important. Dharmasya moolam artha. Correct. So that will lead to that point where expectations can come down because you see somebody taking over very naturally from you. So that is a state of outgrowing. Correct. So that can happen. So that is a very deep science. Now this again he brings back. Next, look at the next shloka that Acharya brings about.
That's a difficult process for everybody.
Yeah, there you go. So that answers everybody's question. It is not, you don't have desires anymore. I agree. That has gone. But that has been replaced with chinta, asha, expectation. Why is this not happening the way I want it to happen? Or it was happening in a particular way. Why is it not happening now? Now, if you're letting go all the desires, that means your thought process is also changing, significantly changing. Right? That has to happen. So look at this. Agre vanni prishthe banuh ratrau chubukas samarpita januh karatala bhikshah tarula tarutaladvasah tadapi na munchati asha pasha. See, at least the previous one was about somebody like us who was living in a good house, good place, and good things that have happened to all of us. We have stayed in a good lifestyle, who have had a good lifestyle. This is coming and saying, don't, no, this has got nothing to do with poverty. No, you may be living in a state of poverty all through. For such a person, what will happen? Agre vanni. So in the morning when you wake up, night you would have lit up a fire or something, bonfire to keep yourself warm. Prishthe banu, the sun is rising you. Basically, there is heat. Ratrao, in the night, what happens? Chubuka. What is chubuka? Anybody who knows what is chubuka? Dilipam Hodaya asti. Chubuka ka Modaya? Vijaya Modaya vadato. Chin. Correct. So people, if you see people, homeless people sitting, they'll put themselves with the chin on their knees and sit in a fetal position. That's how they will probably, be taking shelter under a fire. So this is for the homeless and the poor set of people that Acharya is bringing. Morning, you're full of, you're having fire in the front, you're having sun at the back, and then going with you're sitting and cuddling yourself to that fire, and then saying, okay, let me take care. In the morning, you're doing bhaksha, bhavade bhikshandehi, you're going around, and then that is your daily routine. In spite of being in that state, your expectation and your desire has not come down. So that shows the way our mind works. The way the mind works is very, very common. It is agnostic to your state of life, your livelihood. It is agnostic to your gender. It is agnostic to people, age group, everything. The mind is given a Prakriti Lakshana. Mind will work in a particular way. Correct? However old, however young, whatever your state, it will go after certain things. It will build an expectation. That's why the word Asha. First step is desire. The next step is expectation out of that desire. Correct? So that Tadapina Munchati Asha Pasha. Here Pasha is poison. Okay. You cannot kill out that expectation. You cannot kill out that desire. It is that poison which is going to be there. Okay. So that is a very straightforward this one. I'll not get too much. Prabhata Samaye Purobhage Agnihi Prishte Arkasya cha Tapaha Drishyate. Ratrau Shaityat Janudvaya Madhye Chibukam Samarpya Shayanam. Divase Karatala Rupam Bhikshapatram Adaya Bhikshatanam. So this can apply to two states. One is those who are in the begging state, always in this one, or it can apply to students also. Okay. Vriksha chayayam va etadrishyam avasthayam api naraha ashapashera baddha ivanam ayatate. Yes, Shalini Mohdaya vadatu.
I just had a question. Isn't the news called Pasha?
Yeah, so it is basically
poison.
a noose. It's basically a rope with which it is thrown. So that usually there are two things. Pashana also means this mercurous metals and poisons that come up. So both the things can happen. So Pasha is yes.
Can lead to death basically. News which used to hang the rope.
Hang throws or catching that horses, they throw that. So Yamasya Pasha. That's
That
a
is
good
called a
example.
lasso. That is not called a noose. That is a lasso. The
So
noose is
yeah,
specifically for hanging.
both of them are used commonly with Pasha. Noose, lasso, both of them. The common example given is Yamasya Pasha. Yama throws that Pasha around you and all that. So
So
you're right.
your pasha is the rope of desire which is binding.
Yes, the rope of desire which is always tying you, always tied to you. So that's what it is. And slowly it can poison you. Both work. Both are right. You're right. Yeah. So this is the whole idea that is coming up. Now, the question that comes is, okay, if it's about a if it's about a life, one life, why is it so difficult if it is about, say, okay, 100 years, somehow I'll pass this 70, 80, whatever, live with it and move on. Why is it such a big challenge to look at it? So let us look at some concept of what is called time. And how does this whole, we remember that, if you remember, we said, Punarapi Jananam, sorry, we didn't see that shloka as yet, but we said life is going around in that birth and death cycle. Okay. For that, the concept of time is important. Everyone agrees with that? So how does time work as per our philosophy? How does this whole time, the concept of time come about in our philosophy? Let's look at that concept of time here. This is from the Bhagavata Purana. Okay. So first and foremost, what is the modern concept of time, the way we understand it? We have, how do you say? You say that we have 1 second. The bare minute, at least the measurable, day-to-day measurable definition of time is 1 second, right? 1 second is easily imaginable, correct? So how do you get that? We had a definition pre-1960. What was that? It was defined as the 186,400 of a day. That's how it was defined as 1 second was defined this way. Beyond that, what we said was, there is this one called, there is this cesium atom, which vibrates at a given frequency. Okay. The vibrations of that is what we took. 1 minute. So we said there is a cesium atom. It says, 9 billion 192,631,770 oscillations of this cesium atom, 133. See, that is the atomic number technicalities, between two hyperfine levels in an unperturbed ground state is what we will define as 1 second. In 1 second, it will make these many oscillations. That is the current day definition of time. Okay. Based on this, everything is based on this. If I can go up to one oscillation, that is 1 by so much. So that's why we get about 10 to the power minus 10, 10 to the power minus 12 seconds also we can measure today. And that is well known. Until 1960, it was not possible. Until 1960, we were only in this state and probably take a little more of it. Okay, this is the modern day. This is how we have defined and this is how we know things. Let us see what our ancestors defined it as. How did they understand time and how did they come up with time? Okay. They say, and this is what, of course, this is the modern day. We all know this. You have seconds, minutes, hours, day, week, month, year, decade, century. The best we can do is a millennium. Okay. That is what we have as of now. Okay. So let's go to, so please, yeah, again, somebody told me light years. Please note, light year is not a concept of time. Light year is a measure of distance. Okay. It is the distance that light travels in a given time period, which is 1 year. Okay. Same thing with parsec. It is a measure of distance and not time. So time is very differently known. How did we measure time? Let's look at that. First of all, we need to get that basic measure, as we said, 1 second. There has to be something that we are able to measure, something which we are able to see. Okay, so what they did was, they said, define a basic base unit called Nadika. Nadika is a base unit. So what is a Nadika? Said, take a copper pot. It has to be strictly pure copper pot, which weighs 6 palas. So pala is the old unit of measurement, or 288 grams, which means I know the specific gravity of copper. I know the density of copper, but so which means I know the exact shape of that copper pot. So that fixes it. If a copper pot has to weigh this much, it strictly knows how much water I can put into that pot. As simple as that. Okay. So that is very clearly defined first. Once you define that, and its capacity should be 768 ml or 1 prashta. That is the amount of water it should be able to hold. So based on this, I can now create my copper pot. Once that is done, now this copper pot is to be pierced with a golden needle. And how is this needle? Of course, the needle has to be sharp. It has to be uniform, which is 4 angulas or 7.05 centimeters in length and weighing 3.88 grams. Right, which means my diameter of that is fixed now. Because I know the density of gold, 3.88 grams by density of gold will give me the volume of gold that will be used. Right, the volume is 2 pi r square h for a cylinder. Right, that means the radius of that needle, the tip of that needle will be defined. Now, if the tip of that needle is defined, if I pierce it, now the hole's diameter is fixed. Why gold? Even earlier we have used palladium, platinum in a lot of measurements, even in the modern day time. The reason for gold is it does not change too much with weather variations. Variations in weather will not make too much of a difference to that diameter of that golden needle. That's why gold. Okay. Why copper? Same reason. If it's 768 ml, you can round it off to some basic, I'll show you, it comes to some micro. Okay. Now, once this is done, once this experimental setup is made, then what you need to do is, you need to place this copper pot on top of, or on the surface of water in a bucket or in any tub full of water. Place it on top of it, and the time elapsed between it starting to fill, between the time it is placed till it is full, that 768 ml has to be filled out. That you define as water seeps through that pierced hole. So it will, you can imagine it. It's a huge, you take a bucket, you put a copper, it's like a boat, leaking boat. Water starts coming up, right? So now as it flows, the copper being heavier than water, it will sink. Once it starts sinking, the time to the brim is what is measured as 1 nadika. That is called 1 nadika. So you can measure it out. You can do it today. This experiment can be carried out even today. If you do this, it comes to, in modern day times, this will come to exactly 24 minutes. This they defined as 1 nadika. Okay. Once you have this, now everything else can be worked backwards and forward. You can come to a second, you can come to a millisecond and all. We'll see how they defined it, which is very different from what we have as the measure. Now, if you notice, the time is not at the decimal system even to this day. We have 24 hours in a day. We have 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute. There's a very strong reason for it, because the way you cannot say Earth will go around the sun in 1,000 days and then start defining it from there. If we had done it, then it would have been very different. Because we have to account for 6 different rutus. I'll show you how it happens. Let me just take it. Okay, this is the base unit. Once the base unit is defined, if you look at it, this is the 11th one, 24 minutes. Then you say 1/15th of this nadika is called a laghu. 1/15th of this laghu is called the kashta. 1/15th of this, 1/5 of this kashta is called the kshana. Okay. 1/3 of this kshana is nimesha. Please note this nimesha is not 1 minute that we are talking of. Nimesha is not nimesha. Nimesha is different. Okay. This nimesha, 1/3 of this nimesha is lava. Then it is 1/3 of the lava is Veda. 1/100th of that Veda is Truti. 1/3 of the Truti is Trasrenu. 1/3 of Trasrenu is Anu. And 1/2 of that Anu is Paramanu. So our fundamental unit, starting unit is close to a Paramanu. Okay. So this is 1. 2 Anu, 2 Paramanu make an Anu. Okay. 3 Anus make, or 6 Paramanus make a Trasrenu. 18 Paramanu make a Triti. 1800 Paramanu make a Veda. 5400 Paramanu make a Lava. 16,200 Paramanu make a Nimesha. And then Kshana, and it goes on, so on and so forth. So it's about 410,062,500 Paramanu is a Prahara, which is just 3 hours. So if you can appreciate this, they were able to measure something like 26.33 microseconds. Now, 26.33 microseconds is not something that we can actually imagine, right? That is the minimum that they went to. Okay. Today, of course, in the trading world, we see what are called jiffies. In the markets, if anybody knows the stock markets, the change in prices happen in jiffies. Orders are put in jiffy. That is 1 microsecond. Okay. Order of microsecond. This is 26 microseconds. So this is, I'm talking of thousands of years ago where they were able to do this much. This is one. This is one part. So once you go here from Prahara, this is then divided into 8 Javas for a day or Yama. Right? Day is 4 Yama, night is 4 Yama. That makes 24. 8 Yamas make it 24. Okay. So this is how they defined our basic day. Okay. Now this is one thing. This is a very simple, straightforward thing. Then 365 days, we have the Chandramana, Sauramana calendars, 365 days, all that comes up from this one day, you can develop that. Let us go to, yeah, you can see this, yes, correct. So for the human consumption, they said, 15 days make a fortnight or a paksha. We have all heard of paksha, no? From 2 pakshas, make a masa or a month. Okay. 2 months make a rutu. Now, why do we need a rutu? Masa remains constant, rutus don't remain constant. I don't know how many of you know this, but the rutu cycle changes every 2000 years. Okay. It was, say, about 500 years ago. Rainy season was not in the month of July and so on. July and August in India. It would have been in very different months. Okay. 2000 years. It's a cycle of 2000 years. A lot of calculations can be made just on Rutu. Okay. Then 3 Rutus or 6 months make an Ayana. That is the Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. That is basically how we are transitioning. Okay. That is because of because the earth is tilted at 23.23.5 degrees. It is not exactly the same plane as the sun. So it is tilted by an angle of 23 degrees. Because of that, it causes the ayanas come about. Right? The Ritu and the ayana come because of that. That is basically, you have what is called the southern ascent and northern ascent and southern descent. That's why the solstice happens. September 22nd, March 22nd, December 22nd, right? This and June 22nd. These are the four things, 4 times it happens. That is basically the equinox is basically on September and March 22nd. You have exactly 12 hours a day. The sun will rise exactly at 6 at 6. In December, depending on where you are, which part of the earth you are on, there it will be different. It will be basically 18-hour day, 12, 14-hour day, so on and so forth. It can happen. Some places in Antarctica, it will be fully night. There will be no sunlight for 6 months. Right. Those things are happening because of this ayana. Then 2 ayanas will make a year. That is the way they defined it. Now, lifespan of a human being was defined as 100 years. That's a normal. It's a give or take here 20. Nowadays, it can be revised to average lifespan, but nevertheless, they said it is 100 years. Ideal person will stay for 100 years. Then we have 3 concepts. One is that of the Pitrus, those who have departed. Right. For them, we say one paksha is 1 day. Oh, sorry, one paksha is 1 day, and the other paksha, that is the Shukla paksha is the day, Krishna paksha is the night. So 1 month is a day. That's why you will see people giving tarpana on Amavasya and Purnima. 1 day,
1
twice
month
a day.
or is it 1 year is considered as 1 day for this Pitrus,
Coming to
right?
that, Madhya, that is not for
Okay.
Pitrus. That is not for Pitrus. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. So that you give tarpana every day. So 12 days for them is basically 1 year. So this is basically, that's why you give one shraddha. Once in every 12 days, you give them the food which is given. Right? That is the concept in the Pitraloka. That is what is done there. Okay. Yes, Nagaprabha Madhya.
Mahodaya,
Hmm.
Pitrus will have body and will not have body,
No
no?
body. Yes.
Causal body will be there.
Yes. Causal body will be there. Right.
But they remember us in that form.
That is the idea. That is
I
the idea.
didn't understand this, Mahodaya.
We have to give tarpana for them and they are getting from us, means they remember us.
Yes, that is the idea. Exactly. That is the gratitude. They do remember and they do come to take it. That is the whole idea of the whole tarpana
So
process.
many years you told, how many years it will be? 3,000 years.
100 is their lifestyle. Yeah, usually that is what it comes to.
No, Pitru will be 3,000 years
Hmm.
of human life,
Hmm.
human years.
Correct.
So long, what they will be doing in that? Do they
That,
have life like us, or do they
no,
convert?
that is a question which Chandogya Upanishad answers in detail. Yeah, you're right. So there's a Chandra Loka, Surya Loka. There's a lot of there's a Patala Loka. So there are 7 this one and 7 below. No, I'll show you the next one where all they can enter. What are
This
all these states?
Patala means Naraka.
Huh?
Patala means Naraka.
Yes. So Naraka, there is no such thing called basic Sparga and basic Naraka. See, there is a gradation. 7 lokas, Bhuho, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha. That gradation, Brahmaloka. Then there is 7 Atala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, and so on and so forth below. Okay, there are 7 lokas. There's a gradation. So what you consider Swarga is maybe that is, it's the oversimplified version of what is called heaven. But it goes in a gradation way. So they can be in any of these.
But the celestial beings, they say to get moksha, they have to come on earth,
Correct.
birth
Exactly.
on earth, they say like that. No?
Exactly. So even this they have to come back, even this they have to come back. Some of these might have transcended here, depending on the karma.
From Pitraloka, they can't
No.
moksha.
No.
In Pitraloka, they can't do meditation like
No,
in
nothing. Very clear. All this can happen only on earth, on the Bhuloka. From the Bhuloka, you can transition either here, or you can transition here, or you can get moksha. Three possibilities. 3 or 4. Okay, you can get to the Patal Loka also.
Mahodaya,
Huh.
in Pitruloka or in the celestial being Loka, they are waiting to get birth
Something
on
like
that.
that. So there are multiple things here, Mahodaya. So yeah, I think I should clarify it to the Chand. See, the Chandogya Upanishad gives a very detailed version. Who goes to this loka, then moves to this loka. There is no moksha from here. Okay.
So
But
they
they
are
have to
waiting to
hold on. Let me
come
complete. Let me complete, and then you can ask the question. You transition from here to here, stay here, or you transition from here and move on here. Okay. Or you transition from here to somewhere else. Okay. The Chandogya Upanishad gives a very detailed version of how that happens. Where it happens, who gets what, how they go. I am not fully well versed with it. Even that gives, and the other source for it is Garuda Purana. Okay.
Mahodaya, Ashta Seva, they are starting one Chandogya Upanishad. I got a message, right?
Yes, they are.
Mundaka Upanishad.
That is Mundaka, I think. Not
Mundaka
Mundaka Upanishad.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Chandogya gives very detailed versions. Chandogya is very big as well. Okay. Similarly, Garuda Purana also gives it. Of course, there are so many things around Garuda Purana which I do not want to get into, and I do not know about them. But who can read, who can not read, and all those things are there. But it gives a very detailed description of who moves where and how they move. Okay. I am not fully well versed with it, but yes, you are right. The broad principle is you can move here, you can move here, you can move through this here, you can move somewhere else to the Patala Loka also. Okay, in whichever case, so this is my understanding. My understanding is this can move to the Svarga, this can move to the Narka state. Buhu, Buvaha, Suvaha. The three states.
Kailasa or Vaikunta is where then?
That is beyond all this.
Beyond all this.
Yeah, that is the Mahajana Tapa. That is the Mukti. That is the Mukti Loka which is led to Vaikunta. That's why in Gaya they do that Pitru Shraddha, no? To get that Mukti.
No, in Bhagavad Gita, I remember
Yes.
everything I'm getting, I absorb everything and will come out from me. Like
that is Mukti. There is talking about Mukti. Okay. Yeah. So Sheila, wait. Fran Mohadia wanted to ask something, no?
Yes, but I think I already clarified with Nagaprabha questions, so thank you.
Huh? Sorry.
It was clarified by Nagaprabha's questions. So thank you for asking.
Yeah, I didn't understand this 12 days is one day, or you said something about in this Pitraloka. I didn't understand.
No. 1 day is a month. See,
1 day of Pitraloka is one month of
human.
Our
yes.
Bhuloka. So that is why you do Tarpana every month.
Correct. Twice every month. Purnima and Amavasya.
Okay, so then Pitraloka 1 day. If 1 day is 1 month, then why we do Shraddha only once in a year?
So that is a concept which is explained again. As I said, 12 days. Once in 12 days is when they need this one and food and this. That's how it goes. So for that matter, I'll give you why go to Pitraloka. You give this one. See, anybody? Do we understand the concept of Upanayana? What is Upanayana? Forget Upanayana. Upanayana is basically that this one. Whatever you do the Brahmopadesha that day. Okay. What is Upakarma?
Upakarma. You are giving that through fire. Through fire. You are acknowledging that I am your forefathers, right?
Rishis, not forefathers. Rishis.
Okay.
See, Rishi Tarpana is done only on the Upakarma day. Okay. All the 7 rishis, all of them, you do it only once in a year.
Yes, yes, on that Avniyavatam day.
Correct.
Mhm.
And that is a nitya karma. That is not even that is not what is that term? It is not naimitika karma. It is a nitya karma.
And it is also done by even Brahmin, even if it is not, it is mandatory to
It's
everybody, right?
mandatory till from the day your Upanayana happens till the day you die. It is mandated. Of course, this Upanayana is not a concept. Nowadays, you have brought it down to only Brahmins do it, etc. That was never the state. Anybody who wishes to learn goes through that process. That is your adhikaratva to start learning. Yes, Ram Madhya.
I think I have the question again, but maybe you will tell me to read the Chandogya again.
You can ask the question. At least it will help everyone.
If one day for Pitru Loka is one masa, why is Tarpana one paksha?
Yeah. So twice a day is what is given as Tarpana, no?
Uh-huh.
So that's why you give it on every 15 days. That is basically on Purnima and on Namavasya.
Okay. I get it. Thank
That's
you.
the way it is.
Even in Purnima, it is Tarpana is done.
Yeah, they do it. Purnima and Amavasya, Tarpana is given.
I see.
Of course,
Because in a year, there are 58 Tarpanas or something you do, right? 58 or 48 or
So Mahadaya, very clear. This is all customary. It depends on what the practices have come. Okay. Some people do it Purnima and Amavasya. Some people do only on Amavasya. Both practices exist. It depends on how ritualistically things have been followed in your family. Okay. So this is the concept of Pitrus and human beings. Okay. Now, extending this whole concept, 1 year is equivalent to 1 day of a celestial being. Okay, what we call devas. Okay, this is beyond the Gandharvas, devas. Okay, Indra, Varuna, all those devas that we have. Okay. So here now the interesting thing is now here for some reason it takes out the 5 and says 360 years, not 365 years, 5 years. So 1 year is 360 years or 360 celestial days. So if you see here, 1 year is equal to 1 day of one celestial being. 360 such days form a year for them. Okay. Their lifespan is 100 celestial years or 360,000 it should be 3,000 sorry. Yeah, 36,000 probably.
One more zero?
Yeah, 1 0 is missing there. Correct.
Okay. And I am sorry, I don't understand the previous one. 1 year, 360?
Sorry. No, it is the 5 days are rounded off. And we have 365 days in a year, no? Instead of 365, they call 360 days for a year in this.
celestial.
So 360 celestial days. So that is equivalent to 360 human years. Is 1 year for them. So 36,000 human years is their lifespan. They stay there. So to answer your question, Nagaprabha Mahodaya, approximately they stay there for these many years and then come back. Something like that. They transition out. Got it? Okay. So now this is one part. 36,000 human years is still a imaginable number. It is not a very difficult thing to imagine. 36,000 years ago, something happened. Okay, fine. We cannot live with it. Right. So now let us move a little further. Let's look at a little, they said, no, this is not interesting enough. We can't live with only such interesting concept of time. This is too short. 26 micro. So imagine at one end we have 26 microseconds, which is still not imaginable by any standards for us. Right. 36,000 is a doable, manageable number. Okay, let us see what they did after this. They said, we'll call this lifespan as 1 day. No, this 36,000 human years becomes 1 day. Okay. Okay. Why am I getting so many phone calls? Yeah. So this is where it stands. Now we need to make things more interesting. We can't stop. No, our ancestors were much more intelligent and said,
They
no,
were
no, no, we'll
thinking
not
all
stop
this.
at these things. They said, we'll make this 1 year now. One day. 36,000 human years is equivalent to 1 day. Let us see what happens after we go to that state. They said, one celestial year is equal to 36,000 human years. One celestial year, not day, sorry. One celestial human year is, one celestial year is 36,000 human years. They said then there are 10,000 such celestial years. Total of 10,000 such years divided as 4,000 in the Satyuga and then the Srishti, 3,000 in the Treta Yuga, 2,000 in the Dwapara Yuga, and 1,000 in the Kali Yuga. That is basically 4:3:2:1. That is the ratio. Along with it, they said, that is also not sufficient. We'll add 800 years of overlap between the Satyuga and Treta Yuga. So essentially, this will become 4,400 years and this will become 3,400 years. This will become 3,400 years. Plus 300 I'll have to add. So we will come to that. So this will make it 4,800 years of Satyuga. Celestial years, not human years. And then 3,600 years of Treta Yuga, 2,400 years of Dwapara Yuga, and 1,200 years of Kali Yuga, which is a total of 12,000 celestial years. So what does this mean in terms of human years? 17,28,000 years of Satyuga, 12,96,000 years of Treta Yuga, 8,64,000 years of Dwapara Yuga, 4,32,000 years of Kali Yuga. Okay. Now this is one level. If you add this 12,000 years, comes to 43,20,000 years. 43,20,000 years, everyone likes, not a bad number, easily doable. They said, okay, this is also not sufficient. Now, beyond these devas, there exists Prajapati and Brahma. Manu, Prajapati, Brahma, etc., etc., etc. Right? So, they said, let's see what happens. 1,000 yuga cycles, that is basically 1,000 times this. 4.3 million years or 43 lakh years is one Brahma's daytime, 1 day of Brahma. Now, this is not, please note, this is not the Brahman. We are not talking of Avyakta Brahma. We are talking of the Srishtikarta Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma. Okay, that Chaturmukha Brahma's daytime is 1,000 yuga cycles. That is 4.32 billion years. Brahma's night time, 1,000 again. Equal. So 8.64 billion human years is equivalent to 1 day of Brahma. 1 day, one simple day of Brahma. Now, in each Brahma cycle, there will come about 14 Manus. So, Vaivasvata Manvantare. Have you all heard of this?
Can you say
Shubhe
everybody?
Shobhane Muhurte Adya Brahmanaha Dvitiya Parardhe Shvetavaraha Kalpe Vaivasvata Manvantare. I'll tell you how that comes about. Just hold on. Where we stand at this point. Exactly, I can tell you where we stand if we go by this. Okay. There come about 14 Manus. So, if I divide these 1,000 yuga cycles in each Brahma's day, the night is basically unmanifesting state. Okay, Brahma sleeps. So it's like, imagine it like you are sleeping. You're in the daytime and doing all the sorts of activities. While you are sleeping, all your sense organs are absorbed within. That is what Brahma does. So that is what is called a Mahapralaya after this this one. This 4.32 billion years. There is a pralaya happening after this, which says, I will change over. Okay. So it happens 1,000 times, and after 1,000 times, a Mahapralaya will happen, which is for a long time. Dirgha Kale, nothing will exist. So within this daytime, there will be 14 Manus who will come, which is roughly about 71 point something it comes, 71 yugas. So if I were to calculate human years, it will be 30 lakh or 308 million or 30 crores. 308,571,428 years per Manu, approximately. Okay. So one full Brahma cycle is 8.64 billion years. Okay. Now 100 years, such 100 years or 311 trillion years is what is one Brahma cycle. Half of this is what is one half life of Brahma. 50 years of Brahma. So when we say Shubhe Shobhane Muhurte Adya Brahmanaha Dvitiya Parardhe, this is that Parardha we are talking about. First Parardha is over. We have crossed this Parardha. So in fact, if you go back and map the age of the universe, this will come to somewhere around this number. 155 trillion years. Okay. Dvitiya Parardhe, that is, we have crossed this, somewhere beyond this. Shveta Varaha Kalpe, there's a Kalpa which I have not brought here. Vaivasvata Manvantare, that is in this Ashtavimshatitame. 20 of this 71, in this 71, Dvitiya Shveta Varaha Kalpe, there's a Kalpa in between, that Kalpa I have missed out here. In that Kalpa, that is basically in that Kalpa, we are in the 28th Manu of the 71 of the 14, this one, it is since it's the second, this one, it comes to the 28th part. Sorry. Ashtavimshatitame Yuge, 28th cycle, 28th Avartana of this, 28 times this has happened. And then in the Yuga, this 28 times this have happened, 4.32 billion. And in that, Vaivasvata Manvantare. So there is a strong 14 Manus. In each of that, you'll find that. I can bring that next week, probably next time when we have the class, I'll bring that. I'll bring the complete this one. Okay. 20 Vaivasvata Manvantare, who comes after Vaivasvata, and so on and goes on. Okay. Vaivasvata Manvantare. In that Manvantara, Kali Yuge, we are in the Kali Yuga. We have crossed all this. We are somewhere here. Pratama Pade. Then it starts. Bharatakande, Bharatavarsha and all the... see, there are two things. One is the spatial dimension. There is the temporal dimension. The temporal dimension is this first part. The spatial dimension is Bharatakande, Vyavarike, Chandramanina. Then again the temporal dimension starts. What year? Vikram, Samvat, so on and so forth, we come up. Okay. Ashwini Mahodaya vadatu.
Most of these details are available in Panchang also, right?
Yes. See, the problem with Panchang today, what has happened, in a lot of sense, a lot of corrections have not happened over the past 1,000 years for various reasons. I don't want to blame here, there, or whatever. So that's why reconciling this whole thing becomes a challenge. Otherwise, it should be ideally be able to reconcile it. For instance, I can give you a simple example. Ritu, as I was saying about Ritu, see the Varsha Ritu or Grishma Ritu that we call today is not exactly the Grishma Ritu. It will not match. It will be something that will be coinciding with something about 500 or 800 years ago. That's why, for instance, if you look at our Shankranti, we should be celebrating it on the 22nd of December, but we'll celebrate it on the 14th of January. So there is a way that it needs to go forward, backward, and some of these corrections have not been fully incorporated. Otherwise, Panchanga is supposed to give it. That's why it's called Panchanga. Anybody knows what are the Panchanga? What are the 5 parts? Ashwini Mahodaya?
Not exactly, sir.
Panchanga. Okay.
Karnam.
Next week. Homework for everyone. Do that and come back. What are the Panchangani?
Mahodaya, Tithi, Karanam, Nakshatram, in that way.
Yeah. What is all that? Each one has to be described well. So we will have to come back to me with it. Yes. Shalini Mahodaya vadatu. Let's start with Shalini Mahodaya, then Nagaprabha, then Sushila.
I just want to ask, I have asked it in the chat also. Aren't these details available also in the Bhagavad?
This is exactly I've taken only in the Bhagavata Purana. That's why I've given
Okay.
this. It's there in the third canto, 11th chapter.
Okay.
This is from the Bhagavata Purana only, nowhere else. So it's exactly how it comes. I have just made it into modern years. Instead of the shlokas, I have just put it in nice this formats. That's all. And Nagaprabhu Mahodaya vadatu.
Mahodaya,
Yeah.
I understood Brahma,
Ah.
that Chaturmukha Brahma, but I didn't understood Manu, 14 Manus.
So,
Is there
with
like
it,
Deva
so
in it?
yeah, take this as positions. So take Brahma, Indra, Varuna, all these devatas, Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, and Manu, and all these people as not as individual human or individuals who perennially exist, but as some ministries and positions that have been created for them to do some work. Okay. So who goes there is a function of from the previous one, Pitru or human being who goes and occupies it, for instance. The next one, for instance, the next Manu is supposed to be the Hanuman. He's supposed to go and occupy that Manu. He's supposed to become that Manu next. Okay. So that is a position. Now, all of them are guided by some rules and regulations to be followed. How long they exist, what are the things? Like, for instance, simple thing. For us, sun is not a non-living thing.
Yeah.
The sun has to rise. How does the sun rise? Or earth goes around the sun. How does the earth go around the sun? Who makes that calculation? See, science will answer why. We can answer why with science. Very easily we can answer that with science. Why? Why we go around the sun? Because there is gravity. Why is there gravity? We can go on that into an infinite loop. There are gravitons, there are gravitational waves, there are some two masses, etc., etc., etc. But if I were to say who created that mass and why is it existing, that's not a question science will never get into.
Yeah. Why all these physical laws? No?
Yeah, to begin with, why all these physical laws? Okay. So that is where for us, these things are living beings which are also doing their duty. That's a duty. See, earth going around the sun is the duty of the earth.
These physical laws which apply in our universe may be different in the celestial that loka. In
So
other
that's
loka,
that's
the
exactly
physical
what
laws may be different in Pitru Loka and in Deva Loka.
so the laws are universal. A select few may be applicable to us. Let's put it that way.
No, the gravitation and all these physics laws.
Exactly what I'm saying, Madhya.
Yeah.
Laws that apply are universal. A select few and a special case of that is applicable to us. What we may not know. I'll give you a very simple example of the celestial body itself. Okay. We have heard of these star called Proxima Centauri or Alpha Centauri. How far is Alpha Centauri? That's the nearest star apart from the sun, no? It's about 4.3 light years away.
4.2
Light
radians.
years away. Correct?
Light year.
So the light of what we see as Proxima Centauri now is a version of that Proxima Centauri 4.3 years ago. Because that light left that point 4.3 years ago, and we are seeing that as today. Correct?
Yeah.
Now there are stars which are billions of years away, billions of light years away. Because our perception is only through that light. Now, how much ever sophisticated this one you create, it is still that we have that this one to deal with, no? That light. And then, of course, there are relativity theories which says, light will bend, there is gravitational force, time will collapse, so on and so forth. Good. As I said, as a special case, these laws are a special case that are applicable to us. We are simplified versions of that law as we understand it. Okay. There are things which are much beyond. Padosya Vishwabhutani, Tripadas Divi. Asya Bhutani, what we understand, this is Purusha Sukta, I am quoting again, is 1/4. 3/4 are something that are beyond you. There is only 1/4 is understandable by you. That is the statement. That is the roughly translatable statement that we get. Okay, make sense? Okay.
Astu
I
Mahodaya.
just wanted to know. That Vaivasvana Manu is the Manu which is presently here.
Yes, Vaivasvata Manu is the one who is present here. Vivaswan son. So that's why.
So you do a certain amount of good deeds, and then or whatever it is.
You
And,
earn. It's like the credit share points that you earn and then get there and start doing that and come back. No? So, yeah, as Krishna points out, Vivaswan Manave Praha, 4th chapter, 1st shloka. I explained this to Vivaswan at the beginning of time. Then Vivaswan told it to his son Vaivasvata. Then Manu then Manu Ikshvako Bravit. Right. Right. So any other questions on this? Okay. So I just want everyone to take a minute to appreciate that we went from 26 microseconds all the way till 311 trillion years. Right? So that is the span that we have created. Right? This is the scope of numbers. Right? And this is not something like, this is not a decimal system where I just keep I just add a zero and then everything works out very well. They had to work it out around in a way that the way natural systems are really working. And this at a time when whatever we quote unquote, the science was very different. Right? So this is the concept. How do we apply this? How do I say what exactly is my position today? That's exactly where we come. And probably next week I'll bring that. Vaivasvata Manvantare, Kali Yuge, Pradama Pahate, Jambu Dvipe, Bharatavarshe, Bharatakande. It goes on. Then it says, Chandramanena. Once you start with Chandramanena, Adya Prabhavati, then you say Shashtya Samvatsaranam Madhye, Krodhi Rama Samvatsare, Dakshinayane, Ashvayujamase. Today is what? Krishna Pakshe. Panchamyam, Panchamyam, whatever, it goes on. Right? So you can exactly pinpoint from that 311 trillion years to this day. So there is a way to do that. That has been computed and that has been brought up. So this is something that I wanted everyone to appreciate and bring about. Now imagine we are talking of 100 years and that itself we are saying is a difficult challenge. Now imagine being in this cycle of 311 trillion years and going round and round and round and round all over again. Is that an interesting phenomena for everyone to be in? No, everyone wants to go out of it.
Mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling. It's an interesting thing. Some people want to be there. There is nothing wrong with
Maybe
it.
some people don't want to leave everything. They
Yeah.
don't want to be with God. Maybe they like
Yeah.
they
There's
like
nothing
this.
wrong with liking it.
Yeah, they like life itself. They don't want to leave everything and
So this is the cycle. This is how the
be
cycle will keep happening. So if
yeah.
you're in this, you're somewhere in that cycle. You're somewhere in that 311 trillion number. You're recycling yourself within that number. Over and over and over again. So there was one great Rishi, he was just standing somewhere. It was raining, pouring heavily. And he said, he was just holding one leaf above his head and standing there. Siddhi, a big huge Siddhi was just standing there and holding. So apparently a Brahma came to him. Brahma himself, of course, he was standing there like that for such a Siddhi on one leg and doing a lot of, he was just there and standing. And he had everything around him. So the Brahma came to him and said, see, there is a house there. Why don't you go in? You will not get wet. He said, no, it's all right. He said, you can construct a bigger house. I can probably make a bigger house for you. So he said, no, not interested. I'm all good. Then Brahma himself was probably holding something. So he then said, yeah, then what do you want? No, nothing. So he asked him, who are you? He said, I am Brahma. He said, yeah, 20 previous Brahmas also came exactly the same way and asked me the same thing and went. So, yeah, you can be in that state. So 311 trillion into 20, so you can make all the math and computations and beyond that, right? So this is one aspect, mind-boggling aspects. And so our idea was to say, okay, how do we get out of this and move out of this time? Space is an easier constraint to manage at some level. So time-space constraints. So these are two dimensions, no? Temporal and spatial dimension. These are the two things that we can perceive. At least if there are any more, we don't know what they are. Okay. So that's what we can come up with. So given this, what is the path that we should take to get to that samadhana? We keep jumping up and down on this earth for all sorts of, trivial. Today morning, I didn't get my breakfast on at 9:49 a.m. I did not get my breakfast. I had to get it at 9:48. It became 9:49. That's it. 60 seconds delay. And life can go for a toss. So imagine you have to manage something, how much more you can manage at that time scale of course, it is, then you can say, no. You can put the argument the other way around as well. That was equivalent to so many microseconds. 60 into, 10 to the power 6 microseconds. You delayed it by that. Either you can say that, or you can say one so many billionth or trillionth of a Brahma age. Right? So you can put it, that's the perspective you can take. And once you take that perspective, how do we move to that samadhana state? So that is key. Moving to the samadhana state is, as we said, through karma. First of all, keep doing acting with the aim of getting to that samadhana state. And once we get that, then gnana arjanam. To this, the path that needs to be taken are twofold. One is prasada buddhi or sharanagata bhava and prasada buddhi. Sharanagata bhava means surrendering. When things are completely in your control, yet you surrender and say, okay, thank you for letting me do this. Karmanyeva adhikaraha araste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbuhu mate sangostu akarmani. I will do work. I will engage in all the activities. I'll do wholeheartedly with all the delight and enthusiasm, excitedly I'll do the work, but with a sharanagata bhava. With an arpana buddhi, brahmarpanam brahmahavihi brahmagno brahmanahutam. Whatever work I do, whether that is the work that I'm doing is also you, the intent for which I'm doing is also you, the idea for which I'm doing the work is also you. All that is you. Okay. So that is what we will do it. That is the Sharanagata Bhava. And then once we do that Arpana, then get what is called Prasada Buddhi. That's what Chitra Mahadaya was earlier saying, Yagya Bhava at some level. Beyond that, Idanna mama, Idanna mama, Idanna mama, and whatever we get, we'll accept. Now, the moment you say you start attaching with that result, then it becomes a problem. Phalatyaga. That's what we will see. How do we develop this is the next state of our discussion, which is called bhakti. Okay. So anybody who can define bhakti? What is bhakti?
Shraddha and Samarpan.
Shraddha with samarpana. Okay, one definition.
Or nishkama.
Huh?
Or nishkama for anything. I mean, that surrender of nishkama surrender.
Nishkama surrender. Okay, then
Unalloyed devotion.
Devotion, unalloyed devotion, she said. I'll add the words to the other. I mean, it's a Dvait concept.
Okay. So how do we get there? All these things. Devotion.
That is what is Sharana. That is because of Sharanagati and Prasada.
Sharana. Okay, Sharanagata.
Vishwas.
Vishwas. Bhavani Mahodaya Bhavati Vadatu.
Yeah, you have to transcend raga and dveshas.
Raga and Dvesha transcending. Is it okay? Here is the question. Can you get bhakti without transcending?
I don't think so.
You don't think so. Okay. Okay.
Mahodaya.
So in which case it becomes a chicken and egg problem, no? Because I have raga and dvesha, I cannot apply bhakti. Now because I don't have bhakti, I cannot get rid of raga and dvesha. Anyway, think about it. We'll come to that.
Like Mahodaya, in surrender, you feel like there is nothing is mine.
Huh.
Like everything is like Ishwara's. Everything is
Ishwararpana buddhi.
everything come from Ishvara only, and he's only
Goes back to
enjoy.
Ishvara only. Okay. That is
Yeah.
one way of looking at it.
Nothing is mine. Like
Nothing
that.
is mine. Okay. Chitra Mahodaya, yatkimapi vaktumichhati va?
Thank you, Mahodaya, but everything is theory-wise, we are all very good. Practically,
Practically, yes. She always brings up the practical aspect of things. Is it possible? Just like Bhavani Mahodaya said, raga and dvesha. You have raga and dvesha, bhakti will automatically come. Correct, no? What she says makes absolute sense. If there is no raga and dvesha, bhakti is naturally there. Right?
Mahodaya, but you know what? That any bhakti, it starts from that wanting, desire only. The first it will be that desire to, I want this and want this, and please give me this. And then only you transcend to the other next level of not wanting anything.
So that kama, that desire is never a bad thing for us. No, when did we say desire is bad? We
Only
said
when it
how to
becomes too much.
transcend desire. We never said don't have the desire.
Yes.
Did we ever say don't have desire?
Greed.
No.
When it becomes
Dharmartha
greed.
kama, the third one is kama. Desire is necessary. But is it, as Bhavani Mahodaya said, is it with ragadvesha or is it without? Ragadvesha varjitam va, athva ragadveshabhyam sahava.
But even without raga dvesha, having that over desire also is it is there.
So how do we get there? That is the question. Yes. Pran Mahodaya vaktumichhati va? You wanted to say something.
Yes, I wanted to say that I agree, because if we are here in this Vyavaharic state and there is a lot of things that we need to unveil, we also, I think, somehow need Raga Dvesha to realize, to get to the point where we really understand that Bhakti is what we need to attain.
What is Bhakti? Understanding the concept of bhakti itself will need this, is your point. Okay, good. Yes. Vijaya Mahodaya.
It is Anyatha Sharanam Nasti, feeling has to be.
Anyatha Sharanam Nasti, Tvameva Sharanam Mama. Very true. Yes, that is the Sharanagati. So we will do one thing. Astu Mahodaya. So what we will do next week onwards, we'll start contemplating on bhakti as much as we started contemplating on Shraddha. We spent about 4 or 5, more than 4 or 5 sessions on just Shraddha. Right? And then we transcended Shraddha to Samadhana. Right? If you have Shraddha, it will come to a Samadhana. If you work with Shraddha, the result is sort of a given because you'll accept the result easily. We said there will be Samadhana. The attachment will reduce. I did not say it will go away. I said it will reduce. Now, same way, can we transcend from there with all the raga dvesha, as Chitra Mahodaya rightly said, practicality is different from the theory that we all learn. Can we move to that state where bhakti is a natural setup in us? Okay. What is it that is required for it? So that is the next step. So I will not get, if we start the discussion, it will take a little longer. So what we will do, we'll take it in the next class. If there are any questions, I can probably answer. Or any other discussion points.
Today we saw the two Bhaja Govindam, two slokas we saw now that so that come. don't mistake me, that sloka and today what you taught that the lokas 1 year is in any connection in that.
Exactly. So as I started there, see that Asha Pasha is a very is there irrespective of who it is. It is there with everyone, correct? Now, what I wanted to showcase, because last week we also spoke of Kala. Kala Charati. This is a cycle of time, no? Now, what I wanted to highlight was that this Kala is not just the human lifetime of these 100 years and you move on. If you move out of this human, what all can happen and how long it will take you to again go on in this cycle. Right? Your next birth is not guaranteed the day you die, no? It takes a long time, no? So that is important to note. If you don't transcend, if you don't start the attempt now, it will take a longer and a longer and a longer cycle. That cycle will only keep on increasing. Correct? So that was the point of highlighting this time here. But nevertheless, I also wanted to show what time is. What is the concept of Indian time? Okay. Yeah, Nagaprabhu Mahodaya.
Mahodaya, how can we be in a samadhana if we don't know what's our future? Maybe it will end. What is the future after death?
That is
Or
the whole point.
even now?
See,
Yeah.
okay, here is this is a very important question, and yesterday I was having this discussion with somebody else also.
Because in other religions they have a particular they are sure that after death I'm going somewhere. It's somewhere like that. It's the end. They think it's the end.
Okay, here is a question for you. Are you sure that they are sure?
They are sure about their book.
Exactly. So, are you sure that they are sure? Forget them. Are you sure that they are sure?
Because of that only they are working, no?
See, that is their problem. That
Because
is their idea. Nagaprabhu Mahodaya, let's leave them. They are sure, that's a different story. Are you sure that they are sure?
Oh, they have their own concept. I don't know that.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
So
But I'm sure they are sure only. They are sure that they think it is true for them.
they think it is true. They are sure, I agree. But are you sure that they are sure? Because you have done so much of Vedanta, because you have done so much of it, are you sure that they are sure? That should bring you to this, that should give you the answer.
They are also having a kind of vairagya in life. They think they also tell like us, this life is just this is not our permanent thing. Our aim is to reach that. They will say.
Astu Jamadeh.
Yeah.
Reach what?
To reach Jannat or something. Jannat.
What there?
Like.
So what there? So that's where I said you have seen all this.
That life and the other kind of life they have.
So that's exactly as you saw.
Kind of pleasure.
As you saw, there are Swarga and Narka concept.
Yeah.
You have the Swarga and Narka concept. There, see, that's the whole difference. Their understanding ends there. So their objective is to get there. Beyond that, what happens, you ask them, they will not know.
Because they think in that stage, Allah is there with them, or Jesus with him. They are with them.
So that's exactly no. That's exactly, see, whatever they call as heaven or whatever you call as hell or whatever.
In our concept also, Mahodaya, we have Vaikunta, Kailasa like that, no?
So, Nagaprabhu Mahodaya, let me explain. This Swarga and Narka is just one state of being. You for them that state, they do not know what is there beyond that, or they have never explored it, perhaps, I do not know. Now, you having explored that states beyond it, that's why I said, are you sure that they are sure about it? For them, it ends there. Fair enough. That's
But
their problem.
for now, they have some satisfaction that's it. Only this life, then over.
So that is their understanding. That's where I'm saying that is their understanding, which is good for them.
Only one life, then over, finish.
So that's exactly the point.
Yeah.
So what is samadhana? Transcending a state of either living in the past or living in the future. Right?
But Mahodaya, you are telling so many years. We have to spend so many years. Means it is some kind of uneasiness. No.
How do you know that their time period is less than yours? Can you confidently state that?
We don't know exactly. Is this all concepts?
So that's why the concept is to see. That's where I started with the mind. The mind is the monkey, which will take you in a different state, and it either lives in the past or it lives in the future. Correct? There is no such thing called mind being in the present. Our whole idea is to bring it to the present. Right? Okay. I think we'll end the discussion here because it's already 8:30. Okay. Then we can always get on with it later. So think about these things. So Dakaprabha Madhya, the question for you is very simple. Are you sure that they are sure? Think about it, contemplate on this, and then you come to your own answers. Okay. So that because I don't want to get into too many discussions where I am not aware of fully what their concepts and how they work, their principles of work. So that makes no sense. Let's stick to what we know, what we are aware of, where we are getting. So the one book problem is different. That is like, it is like we have a concept called law of conservation of mass and energy that has to exist. Right? Forget mass.
Yes. You mean C equal to mc square, like
that is mass to energy conversion. But the law of conservation of mass and energy is constant. Everything exists either as mass or as energy. Right? So if that energy has to be fully exhausted and go out, that means that, it has to exit somewhere. Think on these lines, you will get your answers. So then you will see why one life is a problem. If everyone is going away and staying in a particular place, that will also get crowded, no? In some form, it will be excess energy. So
then that will become what we are now. That place will become.
It goes on. Okay. Okay. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahimahishah brahmaneभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः आदनात् सदनात् सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतम् ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम श्री कृष्ण अर्पणमस्तु. Okay, one additional thing I forgot to mention. See, the next 4 weeks are a fluid weeks for me. I will be traveling on and off, and I'm not very sure where it will be. Please look out on the day. Every Monday morning, I'll put out a message whether we'll have the class or not. So please look out and then come to the class. Okay. Next 4 weeks until the Diwali, until post Diwali, until the 20th of November, I'll be in the state. Okay. Post that, we'll have regular classes. No problem. धन्यवादाः.
धन्यवादः. धन्यवादः.